You're live, baby.
All right. We are live.
Hi, Ro.
Hi. How are you?
Me? I'm living the dream.
You're living the dream, huh?
What's not to love?
I can't see you. Why
What?
does this always?
What do you mean you can't see me?
I can't see you.
I'm on.
All right, there you are. I see you now. There you are. Hi, everybody. We're live. Yay. We're back. It's a good time.
It is a
Here
good
we
time.
go. All right.
Try
And we're going to wait and see who's joining us.
Yeah.
All right. There we are. We have 9 people already who have joined. That's what we like. So I always forget to, I'm getting this very, very good. You know, I'm getting it. I'm getting better at this.
All right.
Remembrance Church. So who do we have? Roger. Hey, Roger, Frank, Darren, Chris, and Victoria. Hey, hi, Vicky. How are you? So this is great. So we have another first for Brace Yourself.
It's a big show. I'm excited.
Right? Big show. But before we get to our amazing guest, who I'm very excited about having here.
This is a rock and roll show.
This is
our first rock and roll show. I'm pretty pumped. I'm stoked about this one.
And you are dressed appropriately.
Come on, baby. This is from my friend. This is an homage to one of my best friends in the world, Michael Byra. And this is also an homage. This is tonight's choice of libation.
Very nice.
Rule number 7, Jack and Coke. What do we got?
This is a French 75. It is gin and Prosecco with fresh lemon, or as I like to call it, the mind eraser. So this drink is to be sipped, not gulped.
Yeah, well, we'll find out in the next half hour.
We will. If I'm like, passed out over you, you just continue on without me. Don't worry.
You know what we haven't done yet is we haven't gone for a refill. The show's gone too long when we say, you know what, Chris, you stay. I'm right back. I need some more.
I'm right back. I gotta go refill. I know. I actually sat here before and I was like, do I need a refill? Maybe I should freshen this up. But
by the way, that's halfway done already.
I know, but it's okay. So Ann Coyne is on saying hi to you, Chris.
Oh, hi, Annie.
Right. All
there
right. Michael Byra, North Carolina teacher, is drinking box wine. Hey, there's nothing wrong with box wine, Michael.
That's what I'm talking about. That's my boy Mike.
Yep.
Hi, Mike.
Nothing wrong with box wine. So here we are in quarantine, week
77.
A million, I don't know. And I have a new hobby aside from Brace Yourself, comedy, writing a screenplay, and having a full-time job.
Right.
I am now a TikToker.
Oh, exciting. I joined TikTok. I haven't done one yet. I don't know how to do it.
It's hard because, they're very, they're not giving out likes like it's candy,
Really?
You got to earn those likes,
babe.
That's
a pretty good one. You telling me, what one did you do? You got a couple thousand likes, right?
No, I didn't get a couple thousand likes. I got 3,200 views.
Oh, 3,200 views. Oh, so nobody.
Yeah.
So
I have 144 likes.
All right.
Yeah. So
you got to start something.
I'm batting 1,000.
It's all right.
Hey, listen. I don't know what to say. Hey, John Vetter, Amanda, Stacy, Dean Lucera, John Vetter, John. I'm telling you, John Vetter, when this quarantine is over, there is one thing that I want a John Vetter hug. That man gives the best hugs ever.
Yes, he does.
He gives the best hugs, man. I can't wait to hug people again. I saw my mom the other night. We went down to the beach, social distancing in the parking lot. It was super windy and cold. I couldn't even hug my mother.
Yeah. Well,
it was depressing.
If you know that they're quarantined and they're fine, and you're quarantined and you're fine, and you haven't been anywhere, at some point you got to, someone's going to break the mold and take a risk and go back to trying to be normal. I mean, sucks right now. I don't know if that's the new normal. What, you can't hug your mom? You
can't hug your mom.
I don't know if I can live like that. I don't want to live like that.
I went home, I called her, and I'm like all weepy and crying, and I'm like, I can't do that anymore because I just want to hug you. I was very, very sad after that. I did not like that at all. So, yeah, I mean,
and weepy.
I was weepy. I
Yeah,
was.
it's hard. Listen, this is playing with a lot of people's emotions. It's hard to just, quarantine yourself for like 4 or 5 weeks at a time. And how are you supposed to react to people? Like, always our first impulse is to hug, bro hug, high five, shake hands. That's been the norm forever. So I don't know. I don't know where it's going to go, but
I don't know. This is
I
great.
want to go back to normal. This Thursday stuff is horrible.
Oh, it's terrible. It's terrible. I wake up, I'm like, do I have to bring the garbage out today? Like, I don't even know what day it is anymore. It's just.
I learned a couple of things, Ro, during quarantine also. I learned that now I get 4 weeks to the gallon in my car. I literally go nowhere. And then the other thing I learned is that some of these pharmaceutical companies, because I watch a couple of different shows, I'm watching Food Network and all that, whoever is the pharmacist that makes stuff for moderate to severe plaque psoriasis needs to start. Like, if I see one more Tesla, Xylus, I don't even know what's going on, but these commercials have taken over the air. They need to focus on COVID-19 and not so much about psoriasis.
I'll be a little itchy. It's okay. Just cure COVID. That's
somebody. Every other commercial is that. I don't get it.
It is.
Or Apoquil for your dog. Another one.
Oh, I've never seen that one.
Dog,
huh? All right. So, so nothing's changed, basically.
Zero. No. Next week we're talking about the same stuff.
One thing has changed. My kids decided that during a pandemic and a quarantine, they're moving out.
Wow.
Yeah.
Feel about that. That's like an empty nest thing for you
now. Bring it on.
You're welcoming the empty nest.
Even if welcoming the empty nest.
Talking about how lonely you are, and now all of a sudden you're like,
No. I did not say I was lonely. I said I couldn't hug my mother. That's a big difference. Okay. As I sit here and I look around the room and I see a laundry basket, a water bottle, 4 pairs of shoes, a towel. I can't.
You're all right with it.
I don't know what those empty nesters are crying about. I really don't.
They shouldn't be crying.
What? We get money in your pocket? You're going to have a clean house? Come on. What are you weepy about?
I know.
It's the natural progression of life.
It is true.
You're supposed to raise kids so they move out.
All right, but it's a little hard to do that now in this time.
It is, but you know what? Hey, girls, you go for it. Mommy's always here. Mommy's always here. I don't know if you could come back, but I'm always going to be here.
I'm here for you sometimes.
I kid. I'm a good mother.
I know. I never question that.
Oh boy. So we have a great audience here. Oh, my friend Robin says, I hear that I have 7 people in my house. Oh, Robin, please. I know. It's a lot, but it's all good. And so we're going to get started with the show. So
let's go. This is a good one.
It's a good one today. We have Peter Kletchka, who, if you don't know him by Peter Kletchka, maybe you know him by Uncle Petey. He is in Rich Mahogany, which is a very popular band, especially on Long Island. I mean, we've gone to Kismet now a couple of times, and it's ridiculous. Shoulder to shoulder. You can't even move. I mean, there's no such thing as social distancing.
Giant follow. Groupies.
Yeah. When Rich Mahogany plays, there's no social distancing.
No, zero. Right? No, you can't even get on the stage. There's people trying to get on stage with these guys. My sister-in-law, Susan.
Gargan.
Oh my gosh. Forget it.
So I have a little video queued up that I'm going to pull up and play. So I'm going to share my screen. Give me just 1 second. And of course it's gone. Why is it gone? I don't know why it's gone. It's gone.
Technical.
That's all right. He's going to sing for us. And it was a blurry copy anyway. So ladies and gentlemen, here he comes. Here he comes. And I hear him. He's listening to Facebook. I can hear it.
Yeah.
Pete Kletchka, everybody. Yeah.
All right.
Petey.
How
What's
are you?
I'm doing great. How are you? Thank you for having me.
Oh, thank you for being here. This is amazing. You are our first live music guest.
Yeah, big deal.
I'm honored, and it's very cool. I don't do a lot of talk shows. You know,
Well, don't worry, you're not doing one now.
Either do we.
I feel much better. I was waiting in the green room, which happens to be my basement.
Yes.
But I heard the show, and that's very nice. Nice things to say. Good to be here. So thanks, Chris, as well, my man.
Awesome, my man. So my kids know Pete is like rock and roll Pete. It's like rock and roll Pete. Then he's morphed into like Uncle Petey now. He's Uncle Petey.
Uncle
It's
Pete.
all about rock and roll tonight.
There's a backstory to the Uncle Petey name.
I was going to say, can you tell me where the Uncle Petey came from?
I would love to. You had said earlier, we were talking about how to pronounce my name and, a little pre-production meeting. And you said, Kletchka. I said, yeah, it's phonetic. And ultimately, early on when I started playing, Kletchka clearly is not the most, appealing stage name. Perhaps it's, but at the time, okay, well, I was starting out as a musician. And I happened to be bartending at Lily Flanagan's in Islip, and I had made the wing sauce one night. It's a quick story, but it has relevance with the name. And just as a joke, I wrote on the label of the bottle, the big Frank's gallon jug that we would dump it into, I wrote, Uncle Petey's famous wing sauce. And that had nothing to do with music or anything, but it was an early time in my career, and the guys at Lily's, Dave and Niall, allowed me to play a Sunday night. And they had a little marquee up in the corner, and you'd slide the letters in like a gas station. Okay. And it'd be like Monday night, DJ Bobby G, Tuesday night lifeguard nights, and Sunday nights was acoustic solos. And they put my name in it. But as a joke, Eric Flynn, who wound up, who's owned Fatty McGee's here in East Islip for over 20 years, a great community guy, worked with me at the time, and he wrote Uncle Petey in the marquee because he was. But the inside joke is that he didn't put a space between it, and it said Unclepity. So some know me as that as well. So, but where is
Uncle Petey? Okay, that's great.
So I said, Uncle Petey certainly is I'll take it over Uncle Pete Kletchka. I guess that's what it is. And it was before Uncle Cracker. So tough luck, Uncle Cracker.
Tough luck. You were first. Well, that's great. That was my first question. I wanted to know where Uncle Petey came from. I know that Chris told you I do my research. He does his research. I was very impressed with him. Last week we had a choreographer, and he was just on point. And I've seen him dance, so I was impressed.
Yeah.
But a couple of things that I found out about you that I really, really like. You're a musician.
Yes.
You're a Met fan.
Absolutely.
There aren't many of us that will admit that.
No, I find that to be, it is tough living in the shadow of the Yankees, and I'll give them their due. I'm not a hater. It's the greatest franchise perhaps in all of sports history. It's wonderful, but it's hard to live in their backyard as a redheaded stepchild, but there's pride in that. And I'll take the Mets history in any other arena except for in the shadow of the Yankees, and we don't have that disclaimer or feeling. That's my philosophy. So let's go Mets. Let's get some baseball back.
And I always say, we are true fans because you have to be a Met fan.
Yeah.
We're not fair weather.
I'm passionate about it, no doubt about it. I can't wait till it comes back.
As a matter of fact, I've told this story and I'm going to tell it again because it's so depressing. This is the first year that my daughter, my mother, and we have season tickets.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
It's good coming out of the season. A lot of fun, good stuff. It's such a team you can root for with Alonso, and of course DeGrom's the best pitcher in the game, and they got a good product. So let's get them back on the field. It's hope springs eternal. Baseball is like. It's on every night.
Yeah.
It really is. There's much more to just the game itself.
I have a question. Were you surprised that Syndergaard beat Tommy John?
No, not really, because he looked like he lost a little bit, had a little less command of things, and quite honestly, he's young enough to get through it. He's a bull of a guy. I think he'll be fine when he comes out of it. We'll miss him for a year, but I think they made some good moves that bolstered the rotation with some veterans with Waka and Porcello. So I'm okay with it. With no more injuries, please.
So, all right. So people are saying, forget sports, let Pete sing. But quick fun fact, Pete, before I ask you to sing,
Okay.
I sang the Star Spangled Banner at a Met game back in like 1990, 91.
Where's that?
My dream, Rosanne.
Amazing. Amazing. But I had to wear earplugs because otherwise the echo, you know, I'm singing "Oh Say Can You See," and by the dawn's early light, I'm hearing "Oh Say Can You See," and it can really throw you off. But it was something else to be on that field, and the players are all standing there. It was really cool. So
exhilarating.
Yeah. So before we get to some questions, I thought we would pepper. See what I did there, Chris?
See what you did.
I thought
You're about to get peppered by pepper.
Pepper in some songs, some music.
Yeah, go
All
ahead.
Right. I listened to your 30 for 30.
Oh, cool.
And I have to say, impressive. Okay. 30 days, every day a new song. My question about that is, did you write some of those songs you had already had written, correct? Or did you?
No, those were all written previously. They were not spontaneous.
Okay. I was going to say, wow, that is amazing. All right.
Perhaps I wouldn't be in my basement if that was the case.
Perhaps.
But yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, it was a beautiful. Thank you for mentioning it. It was something that that I had not had really the opportunity to do it. I do some original music. I certainly have in bands over the years. Original songs. I had bands that kind of focused on that a bit, but never really did a show of all my original music. I never played a full show of it, and this gave me that opportunity, like every night, to kind of hone that and send it out there one by one. And I'll tell you what, I'm a humble guy, but I was really happy and proud of that. So thank you for mentioning it.
Oh, you're welcome. You should be proud of it.
Sorry, Rod. There was some really cool tunes in there, and I'm going to ask you about a couple of them. I mean, one is like an old-time favorite, but there's one that I listened to and I love the riff. But then when I got to the end of it, I said, that is such a Pete song, and I want you to explain what was going on in your head. And can I say it now, Ro?
Yeah, say what song, and maybe he could play a little bit of it.
Because I like the riff so much. It was called "The Dreamer."
Oh, I love that one.
Yeah.
That was awesome. But if you just play it and you get through it to the end, I'm like, that is so unbelievable. Because the riff is awesome, and then the lyrics to it just killed me. The last verse, man, you know what I'm talking about. You got it.
Well, it was a poem I wrote, and I didn't write a lot of poetry, but I think everything I do write ultimately could be considered poetry. I just happen to put it to some simple chord progressions. In this case, this was a little different than my standard, 3 chords and a minor in the bridge approach,
Totally
which is
different.
I pay homage, and what suits me as a writer and a singer are the classic singer-songwriter guys. I love, clearly Springsteen is an influence on me. I love Tom Petty, Cat Stevens. I like stuff that's lyrical and melodic and straight to the point, but that was very different because it was more like it had kind of like a surrealistic,
Do it.
So yeah, that one.
I'm ready for that one.
I'm not going to do the whole thing, all right? You don't want the whole
no,
thing,
you don't
right?
have.
So the riff is this. Staring out the window at nothing, the dreamer dreams of better days. Days when he looks out at something to guide him through the haze. See if I remember. The bird flies high and spreads his wings wide as a stray dog sniffs out his next meal. A sprinkling of rain falls soft to the ground as the roots of the trees plan to steal. If you don't dream for you, than to dream for you who will for themselves, but yet not for you. Resting your chin on a cold windowsill, you dream for you, for only you will. That was the song.
That's all.
Woo!
Thank you.
Wow. I am, I really admire, first of all, your ability to play an instrument. I never learned how to play an instrument, write songs and sing and play the instrument. That seems like you're using a lot of brain power all at once. I'm lucky just to remember the lyrics when I'm singing a song. So what was that the first instrument you ever played, the guitar?
Yeah, we talked about baseball and prior to ever picking up an instrument, I love music. I mean, as much as anybody who loves music, but I was lazy and would never have the stick-to-itiveness to really, like, I picked up a guitar and played Smoke on the Water on every riff that, and then put it down and said, it's too hard, and then so I played sports, but I wasn't a great athlete. I worked hard and played a couple of years on varsity, sat the bench, blah blah blah. I knew there's certain things that if you don't have the aptitude or the God-given talent of speed, strength, and everything that reflex and such, you can only try so hard and practice so much. Could I hit a jump shot if I was wide open and Chris set a pick for me? Yeah, probably once in a while.
I was never setting a pick. I was taking the ball, buddy. I was shooting it.
All right, hey, take it easy now. Let me get a few shots in. So my brother bought me a guitar. Okay, late in my, actually I was 21 when I first started playing, but as soon as I could play 3 chords, play a song, I had the desire to get out and perform. I did feel like, hey, listen, I have nothing to lose here. I got 12 songs, and started that way with a friend of mine, a great friend of mine, Reed Hendricks. We were in a little duo, and we just kind of. We created a vibe, and we got better every time we played. And I had the bug, and I never put the guitar down. 33 years later.
What's the first song you learned how to play?
Probably like Knocking on Heaven's Door, Mama, take this badge off of me. Everybody learns that. 'Cause I can't use it anymore. It's getting dark, too dark to see. I feel like I'm knocking on heaven's door. Knock, knock, knocking on heaven's door. You can harmonize if you like, Rosanne.
Yeah, not this one.
Knock, knock, knocking on heaven's door.
Oh, I'd be too nervous to harmonize. I don't know if I could do it right. I'd probably go flat or anything, but no, that's great.
And that was an easy one, and it was, it didn't. But listen, simplicity with a guy like Bob Dylan, who is not as simple as he sounds. He's very cryptic in his lyrical content and deep. But those songs are great because a lot of people cover Dylan stuff because the song foundation is there, and then there's so much to work with, even though it's simple on an acoustic and has this arrangement. So that's how I pattern myself as a writer. It's simpler that way for me, and it's natural.
Pete, Blue Scoobies is watching.
Timmy, let me tell you something about Timmy. Timmy is, first of all, a dear friend of probably close to 30 years now.
Wow.
I knew him. And I met him, I talked earlier about working at Lily Flanagan's in Islip. Timmy was in my favorite bar band of all time, no question, no hesitation, the Blue Scoobies. And I was just starting out as a musician, and I would work every Saturday night, and I would bartend, and I got to see music live right up front. Great musicians coming out. Scoobies, absolute favorite, had them at my engagement party. It kept in touch with them over the years and developed myself, being inspired by them, into a performing musician locally. And as fate would have it, all these years later, a guy from the band that I just idolized and loved in every sense of the word is now in my band, Rich Mahogany, with me.
Wow.
Yeah, that's
amazing.
a beautiful thing.
That is
is
a beautiful thing.
Hello, Timmy. I love you, buddy.
So, all right. So we talked about if, guitar. I think it's great. I always wanted to play the piano. I didn't. So I think I admire anybody who can play an instrument.
I just didn't.
I just didn't. I didn't. You know, it was a lot of work, and
Semicolon. I didn't.
yeah, yeah, exactly.
We're talking
So-
punctuation now.
What kind of music do you like? I heard you liked, you know, the kind of music you liked when you were younger, growing up, listening to. What, if any, music do you like today?
Well, I like everything. There are certain things it's not my taste, you know, to be
Right.
respectful. However, I find that there's some newer stuff that's out that's very good. You know, but I go backwards. So you know, there's always new discoveries, whether it's 70s, 60s. I like jazz that I listen to here and there. I like some big band stuff, but I like everything. You know, people would ask, and we kind of carry this mantra as a band, and certainly I have always, at least I hope to. And that's when they say, well, what do you guys play? Well, we say good songs, you know, like, and it's so our mantra is good is good. You know, and that's an interesting thing for a band or an artist like myself who's a solo. When I do solo shows, is there's plenty of material out there. So hopefully, if you've established yourself as someone who is confident and knows his product, then you got to select the right songs.
Well, that's my next question to you. So in Mahogany, how many songs do you guys know? Right, number one, because it's endless. It feels like when you're at a show. And then how do you guys pick the set? Like, and when do you decide, okay, we're going to do something new? And how much do you practice? Like,
Yeah.
that whole Mahogany.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we again, you know, we work with mantras, and good as one. The other is, you know, you're only as good as your new material. So we're always looking for new songs, and that goes back to that same discussion about there's plenty of music out there, and if you're a good band, and if you're astute enough and self-aware enough, then you choose the ones that you know seem genuine coming from you, because it's not always about, hey man, this is a popular song, we need to do this. If anybody mentions that to me in the band, and you can talk to the other guys in the band, that would be the reason that I wouldn't do it. You know,
You're not worried about demographics.
What's that? Not to be a jerk about it, but
No, I'm not saying to be a jerk, but like the demographic itself, like, okay, we want to get a younger crowd because we're going to this bar.
Never think of that. I never do. Never. You play what you play, and your product shouldn't be, you know, thought of and advertised and marketed as you're going to like it because it's hip to the new scene. You're going to like it because it's good. You know, young kids old people go to Disney and like it, and young people go to a jazz show and like it. You know, so this is what we do. I don't feel the need, and I never did, even with Three Chord Monty. The one thing that, you know, and that's another band I was in, and Chris is very familiar with it. And it's really the first band I was in back in the mid to late 90s. And that's where a lot of the original material and the writing started coming out. But you know, what I loved about it, and I give credit to the two other guys in the band, much more so than myself, about the function and spirit of the band, was we're not interested in doing, you know, Sweet Home Alabama. And there's no offense to that song. Right. But we're going to create our own sound. And let me be perfectly honest with you. The reason that I like to write songs too and perform my own music is that you can't be compared to anybody. So there's a little insecurity to that, to say, you know, I want to do Moondance, but I don't do it as well as this guy or Van Morrison or somebody else. But nobody does what I do with my songs. So it's kind of a little cheat sheet for me, you know?
Well, there's always,
hold on, Ro, one more thing. So this kind of leads into another song, because he brought up the Three Chord Monty, and you know, so like I remember driving Chris to hockey, and I had your CD. I had the Three Chord Monty CD, and I would put it in. And what song do you think that I would always have on constantly?
I'll Sleep When I'm Dead.
No. Beer Belly.
Okay. I think
it's just a little bit of Beer Belly.
Yeah, of course, I'd love to do it. I'm sorry I didn't dress correctly, but I'm glad you like something else too. So just to give a quick background, it's not I want to say that when we did a 5-song demo EP, they would call it back, and we recorded that disc that Chris speaks of. It was at a time in New York and on Long Island when Newsday, okay, had a section called Nightlife, and they used to review local bands' albums. So I saved the Newsday article, the actual paper from Thursday, February 4th, 1999. And in it, Isaac Guzman did the 3-chord Monty, a review of our 5-song disc. So I just want to read, it was a positive disc. He gave us all A's, and I'm very flattered by it. But I just want to read something to you, and then I'll sing Beer Belly. Here's the last line of a very nice review. Rocket science, it ain't, but this 5-song EP is a blast anyway. So I'll take it. Yeah.
Talk about a mantra. That's my mantra.
Yeah, rocket science, I ain't. Rocket science. So we had a lot of sense of humor, a lot of heart and passion. And on this track, the great Mark Fowler of the Stanton Anderson Band on the recorded version plays a blues harp that puts John Popper to shame. All due respect to Blues Traveler. Mark Fowler is one of the real, that's a guy you may want to consider getting on down the road. So I'm going to give you a little bit of Beer Belly. It's a buddy song, okay?
Sure.
Well, I have this friend I take with me wherever I go. He's always there for me through rain or sleet or driving snow. He don't say much, but he sure is a jolly kind of fella. He lives right here above my hips. He's my beer belly. Yeah, he's my beer belly, here for y'all to see. And aside from old faithful, he's my favorite part of me. He's got himself a little hole right there in his middle. So sit right down and have a pint, and I'll let you watch him jiggle.
That's the best.
Would be your favorite song, Chris?
Bro, we would just listen. We would laugh with that in the car. Mike, Christopher knew the words. We all knew the words to that.
That's all, man. I didn't know that.
Classic.
Very funny. That's very funny. So a little interesting tidbit I found out about you.
Uh-oh.
You had vocal cord surgery.
I did, yeah. It
Wow.
was it was about a year and a half ago. I had felt like I wasn't getting full voice when I played. I knew, your body will tell you. And so I did go to my ENT, and they found a large polyp on my vocal cords and on one cord. And it was significant. So what would happen was your vocal cords are very like a tissue, very vulnerable, let's say. So even this, it was like a blood blister. So it was weighing it down. So long story short is I went for the surgery, and my ENT said, look, Pete, I'm a good ENT, but her name was Karen Mortensen. She's a brilliant surgeon. She specializes in vocal cord surgery for musicians. She's out of Stony Brook. Great. I couldn't talk for a week. Now I physically could, but I was instructed not to. And then I went to several weeks of vocal therapy with Karen Sussman, who's her name. She's you know who she is, right?
I know who she is. I don't know her, but yes, I do. I've heard her name.
And she was a physical therapist for the voice. And I will tell you this: after a week or two, I could start to speak, and then I sang a song. Like I kind of forced myself, like you do in physical therapy. And until that moment, I didn't really think about it much. I just said, look, I have to do this. I did my research. I have a great surgeon. She did the surgery. And after I finished the song and I sung with my wife in our little den, I got choked up.
Oh, well, listen, I mean, this is not your job per se, but it is your passion.
My life.
It's your passion. And I know I had neck surgery back in December. And when they were explaining it to me, the doctor said, we're just going to move your vocal cord. And that was the last thing I heard, because I thought, oh my God, what if they What if they nick my vocal cord? What if they do something, you know?
Exactly.
And so, I mean, I can't imagine having actual surgery on the vocal cord. So did it change your approach
Mm.
to the way you sing now? What did
Yeah.
you learn through that therapy?
I did, and I thank Karen for that. I'm much more mindful of it. You know, I learned some techniques that I still try to, you know, get myself conditioned to. I have to remind myself it hasn't become involuntary yet, but certainly, yeah, I definitely am more conscious, and oh, the results are remarkable. I have never felt stronger. And you certainly have that worry, just like when you had the neck surgery, like touching your vocal cords. I mean,
Yeah.
what if I can't sing like I used to? What if I, and it was one of the most, you know, satisfying and fulfilling and moments when I realized, you know, I got it back and it was successful. Really. I mean, it was heavy for me. It
Well,
was.
I mean, I always think of Julie Andrews, who had that surgery and they did something to her vocal cords and she can't sing anymore. And I'm like, oh my, Julie Andrews, like, come on. With
Right.
that,
If it's only one in 200,000, yeah. But what if I'm that guy? That,
right.
you know, like there is always a risk. And I actually had, I have carpal tunnel in both hands,
Okay.
and I was scheduled to have surgery on my left hand because, like, as I sit here, it would go numb. But my inner voice, a week before surgery, after pre-op and everything, said, "Don't do it." So I got these bandages that were online, and this is no, you know, it was like $100, and I wear them to bed at night. It cured it, and at least in the short term. So in the case of the vocal cords, had to have it done. Hand, I read a lot, I researched and said, nah, you know what?
Yeah.
Only when I do not lift my hand will I come to you. And so I knew, trust your instincts, folks. That's
Yeah.
the moral of the story here. It's your body.
Now, do you warm up now before you sing? Because there's a lot of, I never took a singing lesson as a kid. It wasn't until I got the show that they made me go to a vocal coach and I learned, you know, the warm ups and the techniques and whatnot. And then over the years, I had heard some people say, I don't warm up. That's ridiculous. I just sing. Some people say, oh, I warm up before every performance. I used to warm up as a kid because they said, warm up. And I said, okay. You know, what do you do before you sing?
Well, if I, as I said earlier, like similar to the when you're actually singing, um, it's not involuntary yet, or it's not, you know, part of my subconscious routine. So I do remember most of the time. So what I do is I just take, like she used to, as Karen would call it, a buzz cup. And really what you do is you take like a coffee cup and put a hole in it, and you kind of sing into it. And what it's doing is it's blowing air back into your vocal cords, and that actually loosens them up and stretches them out. I'll stretch my neck a little bit. But nothing, you know, I don't do any of that stuff,
Right.
and I'm not mocking it by any means. But I do know if I'm going to be singing a long gig or I'm with the band, that I try to remember, because it's again, you know, if you're going to play tennis or basketball, you know, you should be stretching your hamstrings, or you know, and your calf muscles. It's really like the same exact concept. So sure, I don't want to strain my voice, so why not warm it up?
So now I really like that bluesy song. Which one was that? Was that I'm Lonely? Is that the quarantine one? That's the one. Would you
Yeah,
sing a little bit of that one for me?
yeah, sure.
Because I love that bluesy kind of.
I've been so lost, way out of bounds. Loneliness follows me around. I get home from work, I'm out every night. I walk through the door just before light. It's time to confess it, and I must address it. Baby, I'm lonely. Remember the time your love was mine. I took you for granted, left you crying, but you stayed with me. I don't know why. I guess you finally realized that you were my biggest fan, but I was no gentleman. Baby, I'm lonely. Baby, I'm lonely. no one below me as I lie in my bed late at night. Baby, I'm lonely. Nobody knows me. Well, I can't take it. Wondering where you're sleeping tonight. That's it.
I like that one. That's a good one. I really enjoy that. Thank you. That was great. I know that the stress of singing, and as you get older, your voice gets a little lower, and
I think it did, yeah.
Yeah, it gets very stressful because you always want to do a good job, and when you're playing, especially in the summer, you guys play a lot. How many shows a weekend does Rich Mahogany do?
Well, Rich Mahogany, which is a good, we started out 5 good friends that knew each other, had never played music together, and it grew from just kind of throwing it together for a very good friend's 40th birthday party, kind of put it together. And I'm very, very proud of it after the last, really, we're on our 14th year. And this is, certainly we look forward to getting back out there, and we will, and we'll see you all out there. So with regard to the reason Rich Mahogany works so well is that we are very conscious of kind of not infringing on the band members' personal lives and their business lives, because everybody, has busy lives and children, and either they're grown or they're younger. There's a variety of reasons why we don't play every weekend. So to answer your question, we pick our spots. We play between, let's say, March and November, take a couple months off, and during those times, we ease our way into the big summer season. We play a few big shows at Kismet. We do a big show at Atlantique. We play private stuff and weddings and so forth, and fill in here and there with some unique stuff and boosters and fundraisers. But we do it enough that it doesn't become like a job or a burden. Although it is, we do take it very seriously, and I think the product speaks for itself. But what I try to do is I fill in the weekends we don't play with the Uncle Petey solo stuff, or I had been getting together with Record Monty and doing some recording with them. So I'm kind of a junkie. I want to play all the time. I love to practice. Even as an athlete, I was the type of kid who would go down and shoot hoops by myself at the schoolyard for 3 hours, just because I loved practice, and I love it with music. I love to create and play music with other musicians who are like-minded. It is one of the great things, aside from my family, my wife, my beautiful children, the good fortune that I have in my life with regard to my career and different things. This is right up there with all of it, because it defines me. And without it, none of that works well.
Yeah,
Are
that's awesome.
your children musical?
I'm sorry?
Are your children musical?
Yeah, I don't think that they're not tone deaf, but they don't have any desire, and they never played instruments. My youngest daughter, Jillian, has a spectacular voice, and I hope that one day she uses it. But that has to come with her own decision, just as I did. Again, Jillian's 20. I didn't pick up a guitar until I was 21. So who knows? That's up to her. But none of my children are really involved. We'll see. There's lots of time for me as well.
What do they think of Dad as Uncle Petey?
They like it. They're old enough now to actually come to the shows with Rich Mahogany, and some of the solo stuff. They'll come to Maxwell's or some of the other local places that I play, and I'll do a solo and go with their boyfriend and have a drink and stuff. It's really cool. And I used to think about that. When they were younger, I'm saying, there's going to be a point where they're going to come to the bars that I'm playing at, and their friends, I'm going to see their friends there, and I'm in that. And let me tell you, it's a beautiful thing. I have to say that my dad may have had a similar experience, because my grandfather was a showman from Bayshore back in like the 40s, and he used to run reviews out of the old Bayshore Theater where they would do, you know, like kind of like a review, like news and music and patriotic and skits and stuff. And that is something that I do really desire to do, whether, you know, to get involved with a production. Quite honestly, I've been a bar band guy, but but I really have a desire to get and be in a performance or a production. That's something, maybe local theater, that I've always wanted to do. Always. I need to do that.
That's her.
That's me. Yeah,
Yeah.
I need to do that too. But
I have a question actually for both of you. So, so you both performed, and you both perform in front of large crowds. Do you ever get nervous? Where do you ever have stage fright? Like Pete, one night where you'd be like, oh man, tonight, I don't know. And Ro, same thing for you. You're doing the stand-up comedy now, and you did all those tours with Annie. Do you ever have that night where you're just like, man, tonight I'm not feeling it. I'm a little nervous. How do you get over that?
What do you think, Rosanne?
I get nervous every time. I get nervous before this because I am my own worst critic. I'm a perfectionist. I don't want somebody to spend their time watching me and going, I want to give my very, very best to it. So I always get nervous. And I think that the day you don't get nervous, for me personally, is the day you need to stop, because then you think, I never think I'm so good that I don't deserve to be nervous. Like, I need to be nervous. It keeps me on my toes. It keeps me, thinking. It keeps me working hard. I get nervous even before this. I sit here 15 minutes before you log on, Chris, and I'm checking everything, and I'm making sure, and I'm double checking my questions, and because I'm asking people to come on, and I don't want to say anything.
You don't want to do a sucky show. And
I don't want to do a suck. I know you. I do.
Pete, Ro and I talk early in the week what we're going to do and what we're thinking about and how we're doing it. So I wonder if you have those same anxieties.
Yeah. Oh, you don't think that that as soon as you had reached out to me that I began to prepare? Of course. And so to answer your question, there are certain situations. Certainly, I get excited, and others, some I'm very familiar with. Listen, it depends. Like I'll give you, for instance, if I'm going to play like at Kismet with the band, I don't get nervous because I have 5 guys. I do my thing. The crowds are great. It's exhilarating. I don't get nervous. You get nervous only if the setup and something's going wrong equipment wise and so forth. But once you get the equipment set up and you got your sound, it's you're playing with house money from then. Then it's just exhilarating.
Even when you solo?
Yeah. What's that?
Or do you feel the same way when you're solo, or you're more nervous?
I do, but here's the difference, Chris. So I'll play in front of 1,000 people at Atlantique, and it's I'm not saying it because it's no big deal. It's just
I know what you're talking about.
You got the band behind you. You got the guys.
But I have sung Amazing Grace at the 9/11 memorial that the town of Islip does every year at their memorial, the beautiful memorial right next to in the park there. And I was asked to do what I do is it's a beautiful ceremony. So if anybody hasn't gone and has gone, they can attest to it. What they do is there were about 90 some odd people who were Islip residents who died in the 9/11 tragedy. And ultimately what they do is they have representatives there and so forth. But what makes it special is that each elected official reads a few names, and while they're and they ring a bell with each name, and I just play like lilting melodies in the background, like stuff like The Dreamer. Like that would be something I would play. Like they'd read the name and ring the bell, and I would play very lightly while they. It's very touching and it's emotional. But then I go and I sing Amazing Grace in front of a smaller crowd. But that I get dry mouthed and nervous for, because it's not singing in a bar or on a stage with people who are looking to party. It's so I understand. Perhaps it's the not the urgency, but the because it's a special emotional. I want it similar to you. So that I get more than anxious or more than excited for.
How about when you play? So last year, I think you played at a church in church, right? Were you
Yeah,
in
years I sang in St. Pat's.
St. Pat's?
Been singing with my third cousin Tracy Mahoney, Tracy Merritt, who's a beautiful, incredible, classically trained singer, and she had asked me to come start singing with her at St. Pat's at church, and that turned into a couple of Christmas morning performances that were probably the most special that I've ever been involved in my whole life.
Yeah, awesome stuff. Hey, Ro, can I put Pete in the pepper grinder right now? We'll do a little thing.
Yes, do the pepper grinder, and then I have one more question for you, and then I want you, musician's choice, to pick a song to bring us out.
Okay, I got it. Okay.
All right. So Pete and Rosanne, you guys can both play along. So this is a little bit of a game. This is the lyric game. All right. So these are all like super popular, well-known. I'm just gonna start reading, and can you guys guess the song?
I'm so bad at this. All right.
Song. Listen, I didn't pick hard ones.
I'm still terrible.
I
But go
want
ahead.
you to guess it first. Pete, you ready?
Yep.
All right. Let me get this one down. Eve walks wearily down the street. The brim pulled way down low. And ain't no sound but the sound of his feet. Machine guns ready to go.
Hey, are you satisfied? How long can you barely be? That's another one bites the dust.
That's right.
I wouldn't know it.
Well, you didn't know that one?
I didn't know it. I had told you, I am terrible at this. My
Listen,
kids make fun of me all the time. I sing a song to the radio and they're like, look at it. Look at it. She's got the words wrong again. You don't know the words.
okay, you ready for the next one?
Okay.
Pete,
Pete,
that was pretty good. You knew.
1-0, Pete.
All right, here's the next one. I never meant to cause you any sorrow.
Oh,
I never meant to cause you any pain. I only wanted one time to see you laughing. I only want to see you laughing.
Purple Rain.
That's correct, Pete.
I knew it. See, I knew the words. I just
Why
didn't,
didn't you say it? You can say it right away.
I didn't know it to say it.
Where's the buzzer?
It was familiar. Where's the buzzer? All right. 2-0.
2-0.
Kletchka.
I only have 5, so Ro, you need this one.
I do. I need this one or I'm out.
You went uptown riding in your
Come on.
limousine.
Oh,
Please.
and,
Your fine Park-
in your limousine with your fine Park Avenue clothes. You know, I know it.
Go ahead, Ro.
Big shot.
You're
There
gonna.
you go.
All right, so
Yeah, the most obvious one, but I got
Ro, you might struggle on this one.
probably will.
Born down in a dead man's town.
Born in the USA.
That's
That's on
By the way,
Give
you
me-
have no shot on it.
a softball down the middle.
Come on. Do you have a
That
song?
wasn't, listen, I had, listen, you're a Bruce
Give
guy.
us some
I had
show
a
tunes,
struggle
will
on.
you? You're gonna go Springsteen? Come on, give her a show tune. Something from Cats.
Yeah,
Make
Hold on, let me get to that. All right, last one. You ready?
I'm ready.
Oh, baby, baby, how was I supposed to know? That's
Yeah.
something that wasn't right here.
Go ahead, Rosanne.
Baby. Oops, I did it again.
Yeah,
There you go.
who was it?
Britney Spears. Ah,
Yes, it was.
she's still in the room, huh?
They got you this time. Good job.
That's an interesting prop, sir.
Oh, yes.
I'm surprised Michelle's still letting me
Yes.
stay in the
That
house.
was probably like horrified. Like, can you please get that out of the bedroom?
Oh my God.
By the
Does
way,
it- Does
Very
it stay?
good. Good job, Mr. Granda. You're always very good with the pepper by pepper or something. What are we calling it? Peppered by pepper?
yeah, when you get peppered by pepper or you're in the pepper grinder.
Pepper grinder. You're in the pepper grinder. So, Pete, I have one last question.
Yes.
What is one song that you, either personally or you in the band, Rich Mahogany, don't really like to play all that much, but it's a fan favorite. It always gets requested. Is there a song like that?
No, nope.
Really?
You know why? Because honestly, if there are songs that I like playing more than others, but
Mhm.
you know, I mean, I don't hate playing anything. Playing any song with the band is, you know, better than not playing a song with the band. So
Okay.
are there songs that I, you know, like I'd rather do that, but you know, that's the beauty of a band is that you got 6 different personalities, very unique, very distinct. And a testament to a band that stays together and gels and has chemistry is the fact that they can work together like a business and have mutual respect. I think that that's one of the great lessons of being on a team as an athlete or being in a band. And that is, you know, because ultimately you got to be on the same page or your product suffers. And
Yeah.
thankfully we are. It is a absolute
So
blessing.
it's not kung fu fighting.
It,
Well, if I had to, no, I like that one.
you had
I,
to.
Yeah.
Well, it is absolutely a pleasure to watch the band. I've seen you guys numerous times. I look forward to seeing you again because
appreciate it.
you got such a great energy about you and you really embrace the crowd. And it's a lot of fun. So I'm going to ask you to pick a song.
I have one.
Hold
for
on,
you.
bro. I'm gonna step in 1 second.
I
Go
got
ahead.
this. I got it.
You got the song, right, Pete?
Yeah. Yeah.
Bro doesn't know this, but Pete learned the song for this particular occasion. So maybe you're gonna get this one. Go ahead, Pete.
Okay.
Take it away.
The sun will come out tomorrow. Oh, you gotta bet your bottom dollar that tomorrow
Come on, bro.
there'll be sun.
Son, just thinking about tomorrow.
Throw away the
Away the
cobwebs
cobwebs and the sorrow, till there's none.
When I'm stuck in a day
That's
Go ahead.
right.
and lonely, I pick up my chin and grin and say, the sun will come out tomorrow, so you gotta
Hang on till
tomorrow.
tomorrow.
Come what may, Chris, tomorrow, I love you, tomorrow, you're always a day away. Tomorrow, I love you, tomorrow, you're always a day away.
That's the way to do it. That's the way to do it. I like Joe said that was trippy. It was kind of like a little bit of a delay. So next time you do a verse, then you do a verse. So that's the first duet ever done on the show.
Ever. The first one ever. It was
Next time we'll practice.
very good. Well done. Sung that song millions of times. Well, I just want to say thank you so much for being on the show tonight. It was an absolute pleasure. I look forward to seeing you perform solo with the band. I can't wait. I'm glad that we connected, and thank you, Chris, for making this connection possible.
Yeah, no problem, Pete. You know, brother, from the bottom of my heart, you know, we've known each other so long. I mean, you know, I met Pete through Michelle, and Michelle went to kindergarten
That's right.
with Peter,
Wow.
and they've stayed friends throughout. And you know, through that connection, I've been lucky enough to meet you, and you know, father, husband, musician, professional, friend.
Thank you, brother.
Awesome
I feel the
stuff.
same way. Thank you, and thank you for having me. And if you don't mind, I'll throw a plug in.
Yeah, plug it out there.
Plug away.
I'm going to do a Facebook streaming live show on my Pete Kletchka, Uncle Petey Facebook page on Saturday night at 8 o'clock. And I'll be doing my solo show from the basement, hanging out. If you'd like to join in, get the cocktails, a Bluetooth speaker, and the more the merrier. I will be there. So 8 o'clock Saturday. And thank you guys. What a great pleasure it is. I really had a great time.
I'll be there too.
Thank you, Pete. Thanks very much.
Bye, everybody.
Thanks, Petey. Well, that was awesome.
That was amazing. He's great. What a nice guy. What a real, genuine guy.
Yeah, and you can feel the passion that he has for that. I don't know how to explain it. Like, the passion. So he thinks about it all the time. He works on his craft all the time, and just a great guy all around. So that was a fun show.
That was a fun one. I really enjoyed that. Our first live show with live music.
Yeah.
That was really exciting. I want to thank everybody for tuning in and for watching. And if you missed it and you tuned in late and you want to see the whole thing, it is on Facebook, but I post it on my YouTube channel, Rosanne Sorrentino. Please go to my channel, like and subscribe. It makes me so happy when I see I have new subscribers. And we will be back. We have a really great show next week too, Chris.
Yes, I'm excited for that. I'm ready for my homework assignments. I'm good to go.
Yes, next week, same time on Thursday, 7:00, we are going to be interviewing Bill Berloni, who that may not mean, Bill Berloni. He was he's an animal trainer. He had the original Sandy. He had all the Sandys, as a matter of fact. He's had dogs and animals in numerous shows. He had the Chihuahua in Legally Blonde. So we are going to be going live with him next week. I'm so excited. Haven't seen him in a long time. It's been a while, but Facebook and Instagram and all that stuff keeps you connected, but that's going to be a great show. Yeah. And we even have a guest for the following week.
What's going on?
We are killing it. We have an author from Boston, Mark Zapula. He wrote the book, The Last Longshoreman. So if you're looking for something to read, pick that up, give it a read. The Last Longshoreman, you can get it on Amazon. And we're going to be talking to him. So we have a lot of exciting stuff coming up. I'm really excited.
Yeah, I'm telling you, man, you're just booking it like crazy. So yeah, it's been fun.
It is. And look, I still have a drink left.
Yeah, I'm doing pretty good with mine. I didn't get
You are. So, all right, Mr. Grando, once again, fantastic. Cheers.
Cheers.
Here we are. Everybody, thank you for tuning in. Thank you. I love you all for always watching. Everybody who watches all the time, thank you so much. And we will see you next week.
Next week.
Same time.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.